So you're the coach of a 6 and under soccer team, but you can't get your 6-year-olds to pay attention. What do you do? Well, we're going to talk to a guy today who has a simple but brilliant plan. So stay tuned and learn how to make your 6-year-olds pay attention right here on Clubhouse Gas. We're lucky enough now to be joined by Coach Harry Bacheller. Harry, thank you so much for joining us, buddy.
Pleasure being here, Casey.
Now, I want to talk about an interesting technique you've used. Now, I coached 6-year-old boys and girls in track, and I'm telling you, I had the hardest time just getting them in the lane to be able to run in the first place. You come up with a way for 6 and under soccer to keep the kids on task, and it's pretty interesting. Why don't you tell us about it?
Well, it was actually about 26 years ago. It was my first coaching position. And it was 4, 5, and 6 years old, and it was dealing with actually a sport I knew little about, which was soccer. So I went out there and obviously found out I didn't have their attention span. So I out of desperation, I said, kids, we're going to play a game, and we're going to play Simon Says. And all of a sudden, everybody's standing there looking at me. I said, this is going to work. So from there, we just built it. Anytime we wanted to teach a certain technique or a drill, we use the game. You obviously can't overwork it because it won't be as effective, but you got to keep them honest, have a loser, maybe award them something. If it's Little League Baseball, give them a package of baseball cards or something. But basically what we did was, if we said, all right, Simon Says, put the ball down in front of you. All the kids are there putting the balls down in front of them. Simon Says, put your right foot on the ball. They're going to put the right foot on the ball. Simon Says, take your right foot off. Simon Says, put your left foot on. Simon Says, take your left foot off. And eventually you're working the ball tap drill. And you can do this for any drill you wanted to. And again, you got to make it effective by not overusing it, and just maybe as the season goes along, saying, hey, you guys work hard, give you some breaks, pay attention. We'll play Simon Says it in practice.
And would you trip them up and do a Simon Says, put your foot on the ball, take your foot off, up, Simon didn't say, you're out? Would you do that kind of thing with it too?
Definitely. And the assistant coaches will work with me, and I'd get them at the same time.
You get the assistant coaches too? That's always fun for the head coach.
Yes, and as you said, you've used this drill before with older kids. I've used it at the high school level too. So anytime it's a game or competition, all of a sudden you got the kids' attention. So it works about at any level.
Mine was completely and totally out of desperation with 13-year-old at-risk kids. I just needed to get them in line to get them to lunch, and we used Simon Says, and it worked pretty. It didn't work as long as it would probably work with the 6-year-olds, but it worked once, and so we used that. So how did it affect the team? Were you able then to have an effective season?
Definitely. Back then, again, we're talking 25 or 26 years ago, where we didn't have club soccer or anything. This was a YMCA. It was co-ed. It was actually, it's a young college student working a part-time job at the YMCA, and kind of got a few extra practices in because it was after daycare, and I was basically playing basketball with 15-year-olds for a great college job. But when I took this team over, I would sneak them in there for about 15 minutes of extra practice. And again, not being club or travel or anything, it was co-ed. We ended up playing in our own tournaments, hosting tournaments. We stayed together till under 12. So we went from under 6 to under 12, indoor soccer, outdoor soccer. And again, it was a sport I knew nothing about. I just read up on it, went to clinics, talked to coaches. And still, Simon Says game was always there for us the whole time.
Now, working with the 6-year-olds as far as soccer goes, obviously you don't try to do a whole lot, but what are the 1 or 2 or 3 things that you definitely want to work on as far as 6-year-olds go?
Well, just trying to get them better. You got to manipulate it where they're having fun. The key at that age is keeping everything short and simple. Don't talk too long. They want to be active, so as long as you plan your practices accordingly, I think that's something that's important for coaches, is have their practices planned, get the most out of practice, make sure you remember the age group you're working with. You got to give them breaks. I'm coaching a 7th grade girls basketball team right now, and I tell them, let's work hard 15 minutes, I'll give you a tea party break and social break, and they get to have that for about 5 minutes, and then they come back and they know they're going to work hard for me. It's just a matter of trying to get them to do what we're trying to get done that day. And get better every day.
So with the 7th grade girls, which is also a very difficult demographic to work with, that works. You have 15 minutes, and then you give them a 5-minute social break, and then 15 more minutes. We've talked to some coaches, and on our message boards, had some coaches who have struggled with girls, and then some other guys come back and say, a lot of times The problem is you're trying to coach them like they're boys, and they're completely different personalities.
They are. Boys are a little more athletic and try to do things on their own. Where actually basketball, I like coaching the girls more because they have to rely on team play and fundamentals. And when you're watching basketball at a higher level, I like watching the college girls versus the NBA, where it's just one-on-one freestyle ball. But to learn about basic fundamental basketball, college basketball girls is a really good learning tool.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. We've learned a lot. You guys take it out there. Simon says, number one, tell all your friends to watch Clubhouse Gas. And number two, work with your 6-year-olds. Make it a lot easier for you. He's Harry Bacheller. I'm Casey Bass. And we'll see you right back here tomorrow on Clubhouse Gas.